player or an all-defensive player that season. Of the 5,000 players in NBA history, Jokic is the only one to go over 700 games in his career without such a teammate. He's literally the only player in the history of the NBA to play over 700 games and not have a single All-Star, a single All-NBA player, or a single All-Defensive player.
And still win a championship.
It's psychotic. It's psychotic. And that's why I said earlier in the week, and no one wants to hear this, and I'm told I'm an idiot, and I don't know Jokic, and all this stuff, okay? And that's fine.
Yeah.
But if Jokic wanted out of this situation, he would have the ultimate case in NBA history to be justified wanting out of here.
Well, and that's why Josh Kroenke can't get this wrong now. And we discussed it yesterday, when Josh Kroenke is sitting down and going through the coaching search for a head coach and also a general manager now, you have to get this right. Because Jokic is going to be frustrated if they don't get this right, saying, dude, look what I have done for us. Look what I have done for this organization. And I didn't have an all-star to help me. And I still was able to get the MVPs. And I was still able to get you guys a championship, us a championship. You have to help this man out now. This is going to be the hardest decision that Kroenke's going to have to make, but it's going to have to be the right decision so that Jokic does not want to leave. Because Jokic may want to leave if things don't get done the right way.
At a certain point, and I'm told it's impossible because I'm told these people are inside of Jokic's head and they know Jokic so well, and I don't know Jokic. And
he's a human being.
Exactly.
He's a human being.
And here's the thing. I'm the guy raising his hand and saying, I don't know Jokic. I certainly will not be the guy raising my hand saying, I know Jokic so well that he'll always want to be in Denver. That's not who I'll be because I don't know the future. I don't know his heart. I don't know his mind. I've seen him frustrated in a way this past year that I've never seen him frustrated before. So here's a kicker. He's the first player in NBA history to play over 700 career games without an all-star teammate, without an all-NBA teammate, or all-defensive teammate. And the Nuggets have 3 other max contracts.
Yeah. So, okay.
Think about that. Like, isn't that so hard to reconcile?
Yes. No, it really is. But whose fault is that? Tell me this. If we had to play the blame game right now, is that a Calvin Booth or is that someone like a Jamal Murray who you just paid a lot of money for and he's still not helping out? Who would you put that on?
It's not on one person. It's not because it was Tim Connolly's choice to circle back and pay MPJ early.
Yep.
Right? And that's what was happening in that class at the time. Trae Young got paid early, Luka got paid early, and they wanted to pay Michael early. Okay. There's blame there. There's blame in doubling down on Jamal's contract and having him sign the $208 million contract when he gave you every piece of evidence over the last postseason and in the summer that maybe that's not a good idea. Maybe you should wait. There could be blame there. Aaron Gordon. Did they really want to sign him to another $100 million deal if DeRon Holmes never tore his ACL in his first Summer League game?
I'm still thinking that wasn't going to happen. Aaron Gordon was not going to get the contract if DeRon Holmes was healthy.
Yeah, that could age poorly. And the early signs for this season, it's not aging great because the contract hasn't even kicked in yet. So, and just to clarify something, because I'm seeing it on the RamosLaw.com text line, hey, didn't all this end when they picked up someone like Russell Westbrook? No. This is are you an all-star in the season when you're playing with Jokic? Are you an all-NBA player in the season you're playing with Jokic? Are you an all-NBA defender in the season you're playing? Because if that was the case, Paul Millsap was an all-star years ago, but then he came here at the end of his career.
Oh, what have you done for me lately?
Right, when you're here. When you're here. So
don't show those stats to Jokic, please. Don't show the facts to Jokic.
Oh, he knows. You know his agent knows.
Oh, yeah.
You know his agent knows.
Because he might get angry when he goes back home after the offseason, when the offseason comes rolling around here soon. He might get angry and say, you know what? Josh Kroenke, you better get this right. I am tired of having to carry the load every single year. I am tired of having to do more than I need to do when there's 4 other guys on this court that need to step their game up and help me out.
Yeah. And I want to read this RamosLaw.com text. Zach, you say none of us know Jokic, but you literally act like you do. Sure, we haven't sat in his living room and had a beer, but neither have you, LOL. Dude, that's what I'm saying. You're making my point for me. I'm the one saying, I don't know Jokic.
Yeah.
So therefore, I'm not going to go into a microphone and declare what Jokic is or isn't going to do over the next 5 to 7 years.
All you're saying is, hey, like, look, it's not a birthright for us to sit here and think that Jokic is going to want to stay.
Yes.
He has an option where it's like, hey, either I can leave or I can stay. That's all you're saying. You're not saying that you know Jokic and you know that Jokic wants out of here.
No, I'm literally saying the opposite. I don't know him. Therefore, I'm not going to act like I'm going to make it like with these declarative statements that I hear all over town. Jokic will never play for another team. Like, what? Why? Why? You don't think he can change his mind? He used to wear team sweats into the arena 3 years ago. Now he wears Armani suits and Gucci watches. Like,
He's
people
sleeping
change.
in those silk seats.
Like people change. So, like, I'm saying we started talking about this earlier in the week, and all I'm saying is proceed with caution. This is no guarantee. Okay? That's why I'm saying this next sequence in Nuggets history is arguably the most important window of time in the history of the Denver Nuggets.
But man, Zach, it's so hard now because you have so many players tied to these contracts. So many players that are getting up there. Aaron Gordon that just signed this year. The contract hasn't even kicked in yet. Jamal Murray's contract, the $207 million that we have to give him, has not kicked in yet. MPJ is still on his max contract. Like, there's a lot of things that the next general manager and the head coach are going to have to deal with in order to keep Jokic happy, in order to maybe get somebody in the building that's an all-star to help Jokic out. There's so much that's going to have to go on to change this, Zach.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt. That's why you cannot see. This is what I fear is about to happen here. And I'm not even saying that this next option that I'm fearing couldn't ultimately be the right option. But in general, people are going to, and listen closely now, because I've been through this here, right here at this job.
Let me put my coffee down. All right, let's go.
Human beings are naturally going to want to promote the interim coach. They know him.
They're comfortable.
They're comfortable. He's also not the last coach. Michael Malone is intense and get in your face. That's not David Adelman. Okay? The natural human instinct is for, and I'm not saying they're going to do anything wrong. I'm literally saying it's natural. I've been through it myself. It's to say, we want to go with the interim because the interim is the known and you do feel more comfortable. Going outside and bringing a brand new human being and dropping him in this scenario is more uncomfortable. But that may be the right approach. And again, it's going to need a real wisdom at the very top of this organization because I'm telling you, after this experience with David Adelman, I bet you 9 out of 15 Denver Nuggets are going to want David Adelman to be the coach.
You think so?
I do.
Even like,
I do.
But why though? Why? Like, because Jokic knows, Jamal would know, Aaron Gordon knows. Like, hey, he's a good coach. But maybe he's not the coach that's going to get us to the top. And that's why I prefaced it with saying maybe ultimately that is the best plan because I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. But in general, the natural human response is to go with the interim coach. You know him. He's also different from the other guy. In a lot of ways, he's the opposite from the other guy. He's more of a tactical coach who's more reserved. He wants the players to do more of the leading, and that will be more comfortable for right here, right now. I just don't know if hiring a head coach who has never done the job before, ever. But hold on, the league is changing.
And that's going to be the guy who spearheads the second half of Jokic's prime and most important window in Denver Nuggets history.
But Zach, the game is changing. Look at JJ Redick.
Oh, you sure?
Look at, you know what I'm saying?
You can look at Jason Kidd and his first job in Brooklyn. How did that go?
Yeah.
How about Steve Nash and his first job with no experience? How did that go? So there's examples to point to on each side. I just believe that since the sensitivity for this next window of time is so massively important, you have to open up your wallet and go with a known, not in promoting an interim, and this is who is going to be the tip of the spear for the second half of Jokic's prime.
Okay, but so like in a known, right?
And it's nothing against David Adelman, by the way.
So what
he can't control any of this.
You don't want David Adelman to be the next head coach of the Denver Nuggets. That's kind of what you're getting at because of...
By no fault of his own, he's not approving. He's never coached a game as a head coach.
Yeah, and this is a very, very crucial 5 years for Jokic's prime. Let's just be honest. Prime in the window is still open for us to win multiple championships if this goes right. So you say that, now I need to know, like, who are you thinking of? It doesn't have to be necessarily a name, But what type of coach needs to come in here? What type of general manager needs to come in here that can help us change this culture back around and win again? What coach is going to help Jokic out?
A proven commodity. A proven commodity. Someone who can look you in the eye, Jokic in the eye, and say, I've done it before. This is how it went. This is my experience. You just can't snap your fingers and manufacture experience, all right? Experience is the best teacher that the world has ever known. So unless you're going to hire someone with no calluses on his hands, and I know that David Adelman's been here for years. Again, this is not about David Adelman. It's not. You could fill in the blank with Ryan Saunders, who has also been a head coach before in Minnesota, the son of another head coach in Flip Saunders, much like Adelman is the son of Rick Adelman. Like, it's not about the name. It's about the lack of proven commodity. So, like, there's once upon a time we lost our program director here, okay, who was a proven, known commodity.
Yeah.
Okay? One of the best in the country. He leaves to take a job in a bigger market. Everyone around here wanted to hire the interim guy because that was more comfortable.
Well, that's what the Rockies like to do.
It's like, we know you. That's more comfortable. Is that necessarily the right approach for a heritage brand that's been around for 30 years to someone who's never done the job before? And I can tell you it didn't go well. And the lack of experience revealed itself repeatedly. Our program director now, Amanda Brown, known commodity.
Yeah.
You could go through her career. Oh, you were in Bristol. You were like working with Scott Van Pelt. Oh, you were at ESPN Los Angeles. You were a program director, like bona fide. I have substance to draw from. So in this situation, it's not about the names or the faces involved, because I'm sure these guys are great coaches and maybe someday will be great coaches. But this window of time is so fragile and so sensitive, where you have the greatest player in the history of this franchise in the second half of his career. You cannot gamble with inexperience. You have to open up your checkbook in a way that KSC has historically not done.
Yeah.
And you need to go find a bona fide general manager, whether it's Bob Myers or otherwise.
Or you bring back Tim Conley.
Bring back
please?
Tim. I'm open to either of those because they're both bona fide known commodities. Do not play with this window of time, because you're one bad sequence away from burning 2 years of a 5-year window with Jokic.
All right, I got a name. I got a name for you that kind of been floating around. I want to get your opinion on it, because you want that known coach that can help you out, the known coach that knows how to win a championship, which I understand. I would want that too. Somebody that comes in the building and says, hey, I've done it. I've done it. I'm not telling you I want to change everything about you, but you need to be able to listen to me. You have to be able to respect me. Respect is key in that league, man, or in any league. But Dan Harley, he's up for like people are talking about Zach. So like what's going on? Because
I would say absolutely not. And I saw that report.
You see the videos.
I follow Dan Hurley's career.
Yeah.
And he's had success at UConn, back-to-back championships. Just ask him. He's getting jeered out of arenas going, I got back-to-back. Dan Hurley is
he's hands-on, literally.
Dude, he is a psychopath. He is meant more for the college game. They thought Michael Malone was too intense and too grating over the course of 82 games. Dan Hurley, Phil, that would be, and I know he was talked about being the Lakers coach last year. Yeah, like he's been floating
around, his name's starting to get hot.
I know he is a good college coach, but again, hasn't coached us one possession in the NBA. He and I have coached the same amount in the NBA, all right? But his personality type does not lend itself to the long run of not only an 82-game season and then the playoffs, but when you hire this guy, you hope he's the coach for 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 10.
Let's go 10
like
years.
Michael
please.
Malone, that's when you really get it right, and that's what they did with Michael Malone. They really got it right. His personality type, I'm telling you, he's even more psychotic and intense than Malone was.
I'm glad that we're on the same page. We don't agree often, but I'm glad that you made the right decision on that one. I mean, I'm hearing it float around, and I understand that, like, Dan Harley, he's going to have an opportunity because of his resume, but it's not the right fit here in Denver with Jokic, with Jamal Murray, and how they are.
Heck no.
Their styles, like, that's clashing, right?
Dude.
Like, you're colliding with two different styles. And, I'm with you. If you're going to bring in a known coach, it has to be somebody that can also give the players respect, and the players can respect them as well. That's how it works out. That's how you're successful in any kind of professional league.
Yes. So these are big boy conversations. These are big boy conversations. I mean, you could argue it's the biggest conversation that the Nuggets have ever had. They've never had it like this. When you're looking at the best player in the world, he plays in Denver. You cannot play with this. Okay. A couple other things I want to get to here. More details coming out about the Cold War between Michael Malone and Calvin Booth. ESPN report dropped today. All right, from Ramona Shelburne and Tim McMahon.
So we get some popcorn out.
It was another one of these. Anytime you see two authors on a story, it's like, uh-oh. Let me just set aside 30 minutes, maybe in your case 45, and read this article.
More like 47. I'm going to have to go back and reread it a couple times.
Dude, this was crazy, man. This was lengthy. And of course, I'm just playing around. But this was lengthy, and there was a lot to it. A lot of it, Phil, is stuff that we knew.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of it, some of it is just unique quotes. Quotes like, quote, everybody in the organization was miserable, a team source said. That's what Josh felt. It's a bad vibe. You can't operate like that. He felt that if he removed those two people, everybody could just focus on doing their job. Change needed to happen, end quote. There's another line from this story from ESPN.com that released today. Quote, Kroenke made the decision to fire Malone and Booth late Sunday night. Sources told ESPN. It wasn't the first time this season that Kroenke seriously pondered parting ways with the winningest coach in franchise history and the executive who had put together the final pieces of the Nuggets championship puzzle. Kroenke wanted to clean house at the All-Star break, sources said, but an 8-game winning streak spared Malone and Booth, end quote. So Josh Kroenke wanted to make this move at the All-Star break, and it was that freaking stretch of games that before it happened, I said the Nuggets are about to go on a run, guys.
We're not going to learn anything
and we're not
about them.
We're not going to learn anything because these are all terrible teams, and the Nuggets are going to go on a win streak, and everyone's going to feel good. Literally before that streak happened, we said that. It happened like that, and that ended up sparing their jobs at the time. Crazy. How about this? This Tuesday when they were both fired, Tuesday was an optional day for players to report. But during a 4-game losing streak, it's understood that the best option is to show up and put in some work. Every player was there, except veteran guard Russell Westbrook, who had flown to Los Angeles.
Why you gotta look at me like that, huh?
Because you deserve it.
He went to go back to see his family.
Every single member of the Nuggets showed up to that optional workout except for Russ. One source close to the situation talked about Malone. He said, it's just so disrespectful. That's not how you treat a championship coach, end quote. So there's even disagreement still within the building. I think a lot of people are happy that he's gone, but you hear from that quote like there's,
It's still the timing of it. Like, you may be happy that Michael Malone is gone, but the timing still doesn't make sense. You might as well let Michael Malone ride it out until the end. And if you lose, let him go. The timing was just off.
Oh, how about this quote? The situation was just unsustainable, a team source said. Coach Malone and Calvin couldn't fix it because they made the situation all about themselves, end quote. It's